Hello, my beautiful Aries souls. Welcome back to Astrology Unlocked. Come closer, you magnificent warrior spirit. You with the blazing heart and the courage of 1,000 suns. If you are here, listening to my voice right now, know that it is no accident. The universe, in its infinite and profound wisdom, has guided your fiery spirit to this very moment. It has a message for you, a truth that your soul has been aching to hear. When the divine architect of your destiny removes someone from your path, it is never, ever an act of rejection. It is the ultimate act of protection. You are stepping into a sacred space today, a sanctuary where we will reframe the story of your heart. We will understand that the endings that have felt like crushing defeats are in truth divine redirections. So, take a deep, cleansing breath. Feel the fire within you soften, just for a moment, and allow the cosmos to whisper a profound secret. Your next great chapter does not begin with the pain of a battle lost. It begins with the profound peace of a war you were never meant to win. Because this message, my dear Aries, isn't about them. It is about you, finally, powerfully, and completely returning to yourself. Thank you for being here, beautiful Aries. You did not find this message by chance. Your soul was summoned. There's been a quiet hum of restlessness within you lately, hasn't there? A feeling you couldn't quite name. The echo of a battle horn that has fallen silent. Someone who once stood beside you on the battlefield of life, a partner, a cherished friend, perhaps even a soulmate you thought would be your victory, is gone. And their departure wasn't a grand, fiery finale. It was a silence, a sudden retreat that has left you standing alone, wondering what you did wrong. You keep replaying the moments, the strategies, the conversations, like a general studying a lost campaign. You search for the fatal flaw in your plan, believing that if you can just understand the tactical error, you can understand why they left. But tonight, the heavens are offering you a more powerful answer, a truth that will set your spirit free. You did not lose them. You were strategically, mercifully, and divinely redirected. Sometimes the universe declares, enough, not to punish your warrior heart, but to protect your sacred fire from being extinguished in a battle you could not win. Breathe with me now, because as Mars, your magnificent ruling planet, charts its course through the cosmos, it ignites your spirit with a desire for action, for conquest, for forward momentum. But when that momentum is directed at a situation that is meant to teach you, not to be conquered, the universe must intervene. It's a profound act of cosmic love. Does this resonate with the warrior deep inside of you? If it does, let me know in the comments below by typing, "My fire is my own." And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our growing family here at Astrology Unlocked. I want to make sure you never miss these divine messages, crafted just for your courageous soul. You see, Aries, your love is a force of nature. It's a blazing fire that seeks to protect, to champion, to lead. You fight for the people you love with a passion that can move mountains. You give your energy, your strength, your very life force to the causes and the souls you hold dear. It is your divine design to love with the full force of your being. But even the most powerful fire cannot burn indefinitely without consuming itself. When someone simply vanishes from your life, it is so easy to turn that magnificent fighting spirit against yourself. You think, maybe I was too much, maybe I fought too hard, maybe my fire was too intense. But the truth is far more liberating than that. The one who left was never meant to be your final victory. Their chapter in your grand saga was written with a very specific purpose: to awaken a deeper part of your spirit, not to stand with you at the end of the story. And when that sacred mission is fulfilled, the universe begins to rearrange the battlefield. God hears the silent battles you fight in the dead of night, the moments you stand strong for others while your own spirit is weary. He sees the times your strength has been mistaken for an endless well, and because your warrior heart would never retreat on its own, He intervened. He closed that door. He made the departure feel like a loss, when in truth it was a divine rescue. If you could see your soul's journey from the heavens' perspective, you would understand. You were not being defeated. You were being preserved. God saw how your brilliant light was dimming in the relentless effort to keep someone else's world bright. He saw you defending wounds that should never have been inflicted in the first place. So, He stepped in. This is the profound mystery of divine strategy. What feels like abandonment to your heart is actually grace in disguise. There are moments when God must take a weapon from your hands so you can finally see it was never yours to wield in that particular fight. You may resist this. Your Mars-driven nature will want to charge back in, to demand an explanation, to fight for one more chance. But as long as you are clinging to a battle that has already been declared over, your spirit cannot heal. The universe teaches you through action. And sometimes, the most powerful action is the courageous choice to stand still. Every tear you shed is not a sign of weakness. It's a purification by fire, burning away the attachments that were holding you back. Every unanswered call is divine guidance. Every silent ending is protection, arriving before the true devastation could unfold. So, my beautiful, fiery Aries, stop asking why they retreated. Start asking why you were so determined to fight a war that was draining your very soul. When love turns into a constant battle for validation, for peace, for truth, it no longer aligns with your divine destiny. The divine does not want you to love in chains. It wants you to love in freedom. The person who left was never your territory to conquer. They were the divine storm that taught you how to find your own unshakable center. And now, that storm has passed. Their energy might still linger, like the echo of thunder after the lightning has gone. That's okay. Their memory is still teaching you. But their absence is not a void to be filled. It is a sacred, open field where your own light is meant to burn brighter than ever before. You will look back one day, I promise you, and realize that every closed door, every unanswered plea, was the universe shouting, "My child, you deserve a glorious peace, not a beautiful war." You were not losing love, you were losing a version of yourself that believed love had to be a struggle. This is not the end of your story, Aries. This is the beginning of your glorious, unchained freedom. You are not broken for wanting to return to the battlefield. You are human, and you are an Aries, a soul whose heart remembers every passionate charge, every moment of glorious connection. Even when the war is over, you can still feel the pull of the fight. You hear the echoes of promises that felt like battle cries for a shared future. You still believe that if you could just get back in there, your love, your fire, your sheer force of will could finally turn the tide. But the universe, in its quiet and powerful mercy, has not just closed a door. It has raised an unbreakable shield. And that shield, the one you've been charging at with all of your might, remains unmoved. You think you've lost your chance, that the story ended on the wrong side of victory. But the truth, my dear Aries, is so much stronger than that. God is not denying you love. He is protecting you from the endless cycle of a battle you were never meant to win. Breathe slowly. Feel that truth in your very core. As an Aries, you are ruled by Mars, the planet of action, desire, and conflict. Your instinct is to push, to break through, to conquer. When you see a closed door, you see a challenge. You see an obstacle to be overcome with passion and determination. This is your gift, but it is also your greatest test. You are here to learn the profound wisdom of discerning which walls are meant to be broken down and which are an illusion, a sacred test of your spirit. That's why you so often charge back in, not necessarily to the person, but to the feeling of the fight, to the version of yourself who was so alive in the heat of passion, who still believed victory was possible. Every time you try to breach that wall, you meet the same unshakable stillness, the same silent strength, the same divine, immovable shield. This is not punishment. It is divine intervention of the highest order. The universe shields you from paths that lead to your own undoing, even when your heart insists on charging forward. Because sometimes the soul confuses a noble fight with a destructive obsession. It thinks, if I just fight harder, if I show them how much I'm willing to endure, they will see my worth. But that is not love, my beautiful warrior. That is your spirit reenacting an old wound under the guise of loyalty. You are not meant to heal others by constantly re-engaging in a painful battle. You are not meant to bleed on a field that will not yield, just to prove the purity of your intentions. When God raises a shield, it's because He has already seen the outcome of the next skirmish. He has seen the words that would wound you again, the nights that would drain your fire, the patterns that would undo all the healing you have so bravely fought for. And so He says, no, not as rejection, but as a rescue. Think of Saturn's energy, the great teacher, the divine strategist. For an Aries whose heart is pure fire, Saturn can feel like a frustrating commander ordering a retreat when all you want to do is charge. Saturn restricts, it disciplines, it says, not now, not this way. But within that divine command is your ultimate safety. It's where you learn the holy patience of a master warrior, the understanding that true victory doesn't always come from a frontal assault. What is divinely yours will never require you to exhaust yourself begging, chasing, or fighting for it. Every time you try to go back, Saturn stands as the sentinel at the gate, reinforcing that shield. You charge, and your energy is calmly deflected. You plead, and a powerful silence answers. That silence, Aries, is divine love in disguise, because had that shield lowered, it would have led you straight into another firestorm, one your spirit was not meant to endure twice. You must understand this profound truth. Returning to what broke you will never make you whole. You cannot mend a wound by pressing it against the same blade. The love that departed wasn't unfinished. It was complete in its mission. Its purpose was to reveal the part of you that still believes your worth is measured by your ability to win a fight, to endure a struggle. Once that truth is illuminated, the lesson is fulfilled. And when the lesson is fulfilled, the universe closes the training ground. Yes, it hurts when the horn sounds for retreat. Yes, it feels unfair when you still have fight left in you. But this is what spiritual graduation feels like. The powerful ache of outgrowing a battle that once defined you. Let the waves of frustration and passion move through you. Do not fight them. You are not being pushed backward. You are being realigned. The universe is inviting you to discover the other paths that have opened up. Paths that lead not to conflict, but to creation. Paths filled with allies who don't demand you fight for their honor, but who stand beside you and amplify your own. The locked door is not a wall. It is a signpost pointing you back home, to the fortress of your own magnificent soul. You thought they came to be your partner in conquest, to stand with you as you built your empire. But they came for a much deeper, more sacred reason. They came to awaken the peaceful warrior within you. Every soul we encounter is a mirror, reflecting a piece of our own karmic journey. And for an Aries whose spirit is forged in the fires of action and identity, love is never just a passive experience. It is a quest. It is a mission. It is deeply, intensely personal. You don't just fall in love, you charge into it. You see someone, and your spirit recognizes a challenge, an adventure, a kindred flame. But here is the divine paradox that your soul is here to master. Not every soul you recognize is meant for a shared throne. Some are not partners of destiny, but teachers of evolution. They arrive not to complete your mission, but to shatter the illusion that you ever needed anyone else to feel whole and powerful in the first place. Breathe slowly and let that truth ignite a new kind of understanding within you. You, brave Aries, carry the vibration of Mars, the planet of selfhood, of courage, of the sacred I am. For the last several years, with the profound energies of Saturn and Pluto reshaping your cosmic landscape, your soul has been in a masterclass, learning one of life's most challenging lessons: how to fight for your dreams without losing yourself in the battle. The souls you loved the deepest were never random encounters. They were divine sparring partners, sent to show you not who they were, but who you were becoming. The ones who challenged you the most, the ones who seemed to drain your energy, were the ultimate catalysts for your awakening. They pushed against your boundaries, not to destroy you, but to force you to finally build them stronger. Though it felt like a relentless struggle, it was all divine choreography. Saturn is the teacher of structure and discipline. Pluto is the lord of death and rebirth. Together, they forge the soul in fire. And for you, Aries, that fire burns brightest in the arena of the heart. You have lived through a profound alchemy. You have given your energy until you were depleted. You have fought for others until you forgot to fight for yourself. You have poured your magnificent life force into relationships until you could no longer tell where you ended, and the mission began. Each heartbreak, each feeling of defeat was not a punishment. It was a purification. When God allows your heart to be tested in the crucible of love, He is not abandoning you. He is answering your deepest prayer for strength and truth. You asked for a love that would change your life, and the universe sent it. But the change didn't come in the form of a shared victory. It came through loss, through the stripping away of the illusion that your power comes from another person. This is why you attract souls who need a champion, because your fire makes them feel safe and strong. But their safety is not your ultimate quest. You cannot fight another person's karmic battles for them. The true mission of your spirit is to lead, to inspire, and to act from a place of wholeness, not from a need to rescue. The lesson of this lifetime is not to keep saving others. It is to claim the glorious power that comes from saving yourself first. When the one you championed the most walked away, you thought it was a betrayal of your loyalty. But from a higher perspective, it was your initiation. You were not being abandoned. You were being crowned. Only by being brought to your knees on that battlefield could you finally learn to pray, not for them to return, to fight by your side, but for your own unshakable strength to rise from the ashes. And rise you did, slowly, powerfully, not with vengeance, but with a newfound reverence for your own spirit. You began to see that even the pain had a purpose. You see, Aries, love is a divine mirror. It shows us both our light and our shadow. When you loved them, you weren't just seeing them. You were seeing the reflection of your own immense capacity for passion, loyalty, and courage. That reflection was real, but it belonged to you. What you called heartbreak was, in truth, the universe's way of returning your power to its rightful owner, you. You are still standing at a threshold, brave Aries. One hand rests on the hilt of a sword you are no longer meant to wield. The other hesitates, unsure if letting go means admitting defeat. You keep whispering to the heavens, "If I could just charge that hill one more time, maybe this time I will be victorious." But the powerful silence that greets you is not neglect. It is divine protection. You are praying for a war that has already ended, while God is preparing a kingdom of peace just ahead. Breathe with me. Let this truth settle into the very marrow of your bones. Your Aries soul is a keeper of heroic tales. You don't just remember the past. You relive the glory of the charge, the fire of the passion, the intoxicating energy of the fight. The echoes of shared laughter and intense conversations still find you, not as gentle ghosts, but as reminders of a time you felt so powerfully alive. You scroll through old messages, not to reconnect, but to feel the surge of that energy again. The energy that felt like purpose. You revisit songs that were your battle anthems, even though the campaign is long over. You tell yourself you're just reminiscing, but in truth, a part of you is still hoping for a rematch. And that hope, my beautiful warrior, is the very thing that keeps your spirit tethered to a past battlefield. In astrology, we see this as the sacred dance between your fiery Mars and the profound, structuring energy of Saturn. Mars, your ruler, wants to act, to push forward, to do. But Saturn, the great teacher, brings wisdom to your impulse. When these two energies meet, your soul undergoes a purification through memory. Nostalgia becomes the forge where you burn away the last attachments to a fight that is no longer yours. The ache you feel is not weakness. It is the final tempering of your spirit before your rebirth. But you cannot keep sharpening your sword for a battle that will never come. Every time you reach back into that energy, you delay the arrival of the new mission that heaven has already assigned to you. You are not meant to forget them. Healing is not erasure, it is integration. When you miss them, it is not always the person you crave. It is the version of yourself who was so clear in their purpose, so powerful in their passion, who still believed in that shared victory. But that version of you is not lost. That version of you is evolving. He or she is becoming a wise general, not just a fearsome warrior. They are learning that true power lies not in winning every battle, but in choosing the right ones. God sees you standing there, clutching the memory of the fight like a sacred banner. He knows how loyal and courageous your spirit is. But he also knows the truth you cannot yet fully see, that the chapter you keep trying to rewrite has been divinely sealed. When you try to reopen it, you are attempting to alter a sacred lesson that has already been perfected. This is why the shield will not lower, no matter how hard you push. It's not because heaven is ignoring your strength. It's because heaven is redirecting it. In this cosmic season, the universe is asking you to practice the warrior's ultimate discipline. Trust without sight. To release what felt like your sworn duty so that your true destiny can find you. The more you look back, the heavier your armor becomes. There is a new season forming. Can you feel it? The air around you is crackling with a new energy. The weight of that old battle is lifting. You are beginning to breathe differently, to sense the faint outline of a new calling, a new adventure shimmering just beyond the fog of memory. This is what your rebirth feels like, Aries. Quiet at first, but with an undeniable charge of potential. You can rest your sword now, magnificent Aries. You have spent a lifetime fighting for what was already divinely yours. Justice, love, peace, recognition. You have roared at skies that seem to offer no reply, asking, when will it be my turn for victory? And tonight, the entire cosmos whispers back, it has always been your turn. We were simply waiting for you to stop fighting the wrong war. You no longer need to battle for fairness, because the universe itself is divine justice. Every tear you shed, every silent prayer for strength, every act of courage that no one else witnessed, none of it was in vain. Heaven has been keeping a sacred record, not to tally your losses, but to prepare your rewards. Breathe slowly and let this profound knowing calm the beautiful fire in your heart. There was a time you believed that surrender meant giving up, that if you didn't fight for your honor, the world would deem you weak. But surrender was never defeat. It was your ultimate act of power. The very moment you stopped demanding that the past bend to your will, the karmic cycle began to dissolve. This is what happens when a soul truly masters its lessons. The wheel of struggle stops turning the moment you choose to step out of the arena. Saturn, the keeper of cosmic law, releases his firm grip only when you have learned to stand in your power with stillness, responding from a place of peace, not reacting from a place of pain. And you, my beautiful Aries, have done just that. Now, the planets begin to shift in your favor. Mars, your ruler, finds a harmonious flow with Jupiter, the planet of expansion, luck, and divine blessings. This alignment is not a coincidence. It is your cosmic coronation. It signals a season where everything you felt you lost is returned to you, not in its old form, but in a multiplied, more glorious essence. The opportunities that once felt blocked will now open effortlessly. The love that departed will be replaced by a profound peace that becomes your new source of strength. But here is the sacred secret, Aries. The blessing only arrives in its fullness when your heart no longer demands it. Because a desire born from a sense of lack still carries the vibration of the battle. Heaven cannot fill a cup that is clenched into a fist. It can only pour its abundance into hands that are open, hands that have released the need for control, trusting that divine timing is always perfect. So when you finally stopped asking why the battle ended and whispered, "Thy will be done," you shifted your entire reality. What was once a struggle now begins to flow. The karmic chains that held you to that old pattern were not broken by more fighting, but by your courageous surrender. God was never withholding your victory. He was perfecting it. Think back on your journey. Every injustice carved wisdom into your soul. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every loss made you a more compassionate leader. The fire you carry now is not naive. It is resurrected. You no longer seek validation from others because you have learned to find it in the unwavering strength of your own spirit. You are the first sign, the pioneer, the trailblazer. Your suffering always felt acute, your lessons intense, because you are here to lead the way. But that is also why your rewards are so magnificent. The soul that braves the hottest fire emerges with the most unbreakable spirit. Now, heaven invites you to live as living proof that true power is born in peace. You are not here to prove your worth to anyone. You are here to embody it. Breathe. Smile. You have passed the test. What comes next is not more chaos. It is conscious creation. Your time of rebuilding begins now. Your karma has been balanced. The universe has witnessed your faith and found it true. And now you will see how every painful detour was a part of a divine strategy. The role you lost made space for your true calling. The person who left made room for your soul's peace. The season of waiting was the training ground where your miracle was forged. You do not need to chase what is meant for you. What is yours, by divine right, will find you, drawn to the brilliant, peaceful fire of your authentic self. So rest, Aries. The story has turned. You have nothing left to fight for, only blessings left to receive. When you stopped demanding justice from the world, heaven granted you a kingdom, not because you fought for it, but because your dignified silence spoke of a faith more powerful than any battle cry. And that faith, quiet, steady, and unshakable, is what summons miracles. Thank you, brave Aries soul, for walking through the fire of loss, only to rediscover the eternal flame of your own spirit. The universe honors your courage, your passion, and your trust. Subscribe, stay close to our community, and keep your magnificent heart open. Your healing is not over. Your grandest adventure is only just beginning.